No, actually, that was my fault. So I figured it out. I got a new Xbox, and I was trying to get it hooked up before I brought it with me to the track
Yeah.
to play in the hotel. And I realized that so the new Xbox, you have to download a bunch of games on it because it's got no digital drive to it, which I was not aware of. I just got a
Oh,
cheaper one.
so it's like
Doesn't have,
they did what the PlayStation did. They took one with regular and then one they just did digital.
exactly. So
That's
it's
cool.
actually like it looks like a PS2 Slim or something like that. It's very
Ooh,
small because I thought it was gonna be
I like
huge by the
that.
pictures, but end up being kind of small and fits nicely everywhere. Like you can put in your backpack. Like it's actually pretty nice. But because
Wow.
of that, so I had to download stuff before I was leaving, so I wouldn't forget in the morning. Of course, I forgot to go hit pause on the downloads while we're doing our show.
Oh, it's
So
taking bandwidth.
completely killed our bandwidth and figured that out later. So that's my bad.
Yeah, but it downloaded the game, right? Though that's the important part. Did it actually download without any problems?
Yeah, it did. The problem was, like I said, the track internet wasn't working, so it was all
So you couldn't even play what you downloaded,
nope. Because as you know, every game now is offline or is online, so
which is
can't do.
horrible. I hate that. What if I just want to play a one-player single game? That's all I want to do. I don't want to have to play online. God, I hate that.
I know. No, it's. I honestly thought so. I had a PS2 here, and I was like, I'm gonna put a PS2 there
Wow.
in my bus, just
PS2.
because it can go online, but I have no idea how to do that. And if it does it, I think it's gonna go on AIM, and I don't have instant messenger anymore, so I don't think it's
AIM.
gonna.
AI. Wow. AOL Instant Messenger. That's a blast from the past. I like that.
Like you had the one crush on the girl and like well from middle school, you college or whatever, but like they got chat and you're like, oh boy, here we go.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. So I used to. So what's your favorite? Because you said you have an Xbox. I know you like Xbox. You're an Xbox guy, but you had a P. You have a PS2. Was PS2? A lot of people say this. PS2 better than PS3, or was the PS3 an actual upgrade? Because nobody really talks about PS2, PS3 battles, but everybody talks about PS4, PS3, and now the PS5.
I think the creativity and the depth of the games was lost when they went to PS3 because you had all these cool games coming out. The NASCAR series was killed when they went to a next gen system. Same with Madden. All these things had so much depth in them
Which
for
is
all the sports
crazy.
games, for all the first person shooters, all that.
Yeah.
The only one that did a good job was Grand Theft Auto, keeping the depth like as they went. But I think if you want to look at that part of it, I like obviously the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were the first jump up in graphics, right? You can't deny that. They're still good today, even. But
I
from
do.
like
Yeah, I
here,
do agree with that.
but from the cost to create a game and the amount of people who could make a game back then, there's so many cooler games you could have.
Yeah.
Where now it's pretty small, right? Like you only have a few developers. You only have so many things that people that can do it because it costs so much to make a game. Where I'm sure it cost a lot to do it back then, but you had something that wasn't. You didn't have to have everything online compatible.
Right.
You didn't everything be nuts as far as
Yeah.
being graphics and then having to buy things from the marketplace like DLC didn't have any of that. Like you just had everything in the game.
Which is talk about DLCs and stuff like that. We play a game called Elder Scrolls Online, which is super fun. But you have to buy like the pass for it because if you don't buy the pass for it, you're basically not getting 90% of the stuff you want to actually do. It sucks because me and Tyler are like, yeah, we want to play, and then of course we don't ever have time to play. But even if we did, it's like you end up dropping the same amount of money you would as it like you could probably make a car payment out of it. Like same thing with like League of Legends. I didn't put any money into it, but Tyler put like sunk a ton into it, and it's like these games, that's how they get you. The pay to play
Well,
or
I've done
whatever.
it before with 2K, NBA 2K, because I love that game.
That is a good
And
game. That is a
to
fantastic game.
upgrade your player, you eventually run into a spot where you can't upgrade it like anymore by being good and skilled. And you have to go buy the rest of the credits. So,
It's pay
and
to
same with Fortnite,
win.
right? So it's a free game, but they get you with the V Bucks and the add-ons and things like that. It's a free game, but you end up paying like $30, every 6 months for it. So during its lifetime, you're gonna pay more than you would for just buying a $60 disc of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, which is crazy to me because, you talk about a $60 disc. The fact that they're all going digital, right? Because I mean, they're not all going digital, but digital is a big, 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 big change from what I used to do. You remember the cartridge? I used to have to into the cartridge, put it in,
Oh,
Nintendo 64,
yeah,
then it
64.
didn't
Yeah.
work, and then you're pissed
Yep.
off because it didn't work. But now the digital, here's where I have a problem with that. I'm from the generation of wanting discs. Like I like a physical copy of my game, But I guess I understand now after getting the PS5 that it's almost it's better because I'm not losing games. I'm not, do I have a cool collection? Yeah, absolutely. Can I show anybody my collection? I mean, if you want to come and look at it. But like I don't have physical games where I can be like, hey, look, I just got Mortal Kombat or I just got, Call of Duty. The digital world is taking off, and we've seen that with cryptocurrencies. Digital is everything. You said something to me the other day. It blew my mind. You said something about buy like digital
Oh,
cards.
NTPs, yeah.
What is it called?
I think they're NTPs. Yeah.
NTPs. That doesn't make any sense to me, but I get why it's so big because you are putting a collection that is worth money that you can get, and you can basically collect these things anywhere in the world. Anywhere you want to do anything.
And you're right, but it does make a little bit of sense if you think about it because so I go to downtown Cleveland, okay, and
Sure.
they have artist market and they're selling their paintings, right? Well, somebody goes and makes a digital painting. Why is that not worth something? But the physical thing is, but the digital thing is more creative and probably took more time because we
Well, it's
know the
digital,
digital
right?
world took more.
Yeah.
So now the NTPs, like for trading cards, for clips, for moments, for memes and gifs and all this stuff,
Wow.
it's taken off because it's authentic content, but it's never been monetized before until now, or maybe
Right.
a year ago. But it's a cool idea, though. I mean, it's definitely kind of crazy. But it's just it's nuts. But I thought it was kind of funny though because we're talking about discs and stuff like that. And I had the Xbox One, and what I thought was stupid about it was even if you bought the disc, you still couldn't play it just off the disc. You had to download it still.
Which is
Um,
crazy.
well, it's dumb. Like, why have the disc? Just download it that way,
Right,
which
right.
is probably what they're trying to do. But we're in the mall the other day, and our night consisted of going to GameStop and then going to AMC. I'm like, you do realize I was telling my buddy, I'm like, you do realize we just went to the two companies that the whole stock squeeze thing a few months ago, that Reddit and Twitter literally.
There's nothing wrong with that though, right? But that's now I gotta ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a serious question, and I only because I don't know the answer to this. As a as part of the younger generation, do you care if movie theaters go out? Honestly,
Absolutely,
do
yeah.
you
I go to
really?
the movies. Yeah, I go to the movies every single weekend.
Wow.
I
Okay.
AMC Stubs member. I bought AMC stock. I have no place in the company other than I pay them money for oversized and overpriced drinks. But other than that, yeah, I like for me when I go to the racetrack. There's a lot of guys who like to go to bars, like
Yeah.
to go, get messed up, hang out, or go to the hotel rooms.
Sure.
But the thing for me is I like to go to the movies. So for me, AMC, like that was such an important thing for me to see, like, actually do well because when they did the squeeze, right? So I'm thinking about this and like they literally came in and saved this
Oh yeah.
entire the entire thing. It was going bankrupt. It was gone. Them
Yeah.
and the GameStop were gone.
Yep. Yep.
And so I think a lot of people realized that this was going to be gone for generations to come. And
Yeah.
for other people, for movie theaters, what's interesting to me now is when you go in the movie theater, the previews are saying before, used to be on HBO Max and on this and that, or see in the theater. There's almost, I'd say 70% of them are like only in theaters. Like, you're not getting away from us now. Like, it's only going to be in theaters, which I think is cool. It should
Yeah.
be.
Now, see, I'm on the opposite spectrum. I don't go to the movies a lot, like at all, honestly. And I don't know. It's not that I have a problem with them because I do like them. Like there was one at Crocker Park where they had the nice seats, they fold out. You know what I mean? They relax. You can kind of recline in them. I love that. But I still never went that much. I don't know. The fact that HBO Max is holding out, is holding a lot of things that normally would come into theaters. I think streaming services just blew it up, right? I mean,
They did, but my problem is like, so I don't go to a movie theater to go see a movie, which that's going to sound dumb for a second,
no,
right?
I know exactly what you're about to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I go to a movie theater because I want that 2 hours of my life with all the craziness that I have.
Yeah.
I have those 2 hours of my life where I want it to be dead, nothing of me being in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I want to experience the movie. I want to be in the movie. I want to look at what the actors do. I want to feel the writing of the movie.
Yep.
I want to be in the movie. And my grandma's the same way. My buddy Trenton, my best friend, he's the same way. BJ McLeod and I, we go to the movies and do that. Like, that's what we do. We like to go do that because for 2 hours, you are in another person's world. You're in a director's world,
Yeah.
and I think that's really cool. And so you got to go this week, and I had to miss it because I was off at the track. But we did a big premiere for our movie, The Hunting. So I'm excited for that to come out in the fall whenever it does. But you got to see yourself on the big screen for the first time, huh?
It was pretty insane. I mean, honestly, it was. So here's basically you go to the movie theater for the experience. That's what you go for. You go
Yes.
to immerse yourself into, like you said, you're busy 24 hours a day. So if you
Right.
could take those 2 hours, sit back for just 2 hours, and kind of
Well,
watch what you do.
it's not just that. Like I put my phone on airplane mode. Like you're not talking
Like
to me.
yeah, like you're basically you're there. You're
I'm off.
not. Yeah, you're
I'm
you're
off
full
in
attention.
figure 13. Like I'm out.
Yeah, no, your full attention is right there. Do you know what I mean? And so it was weird for me to be at the movie premiere and see myself on TV or on the big screen just because I didn't know. You know, like I didn't know how it was gonna be. I
Yeah.
saw the trailer a bunch of times. I didn't go and look at and go and watch it before it was fully edited and everything like that. That was the first time I saw it. And I gotta say, you killed it. Even Hillis was like, "Damn, Matt killed it." There was parts in there, man, where you're like, "I don't want to spoil anything or anything," because now it's there. But there was a part in there where you legitimately killed it, and it was funny because me and Hillis are talking about it. We're like, "Oh my god, I know." And then Hillis is seeing himself on screen, and it's like, wow, he said he doesn't even like watching himself back and during when he would do
That's it.
football. You know what I mean? When he would
Yeah.
watch tape. So for him to have to do that and play how he did and what he did was basically amazing to him. And the fun part was as we were done, as the movie was done, all the cast and crew was like, "Man, you killed it. You did a good job. You did a good job." And I'm like, I didn't physically see it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Every
let me ask you about that. Why did you not feel that way? Because there's definitely something, right? To where
right,
you go back and watch a podcast of yourself, or you go watch back a video or something
right,
like that, or I'm dancing to Rick Astley.
which was
Uh,
fantastic.
oh God. So you do that and you go back and you're like, ah, shit, like that was embarrassing. But then it gets easy, right? So like for my
It does.
interviews and stuff like that I've done, my early years, I'm like, man, I was talking so fast. And then later years, be like, okay, I'm starting to get there. And then like so in racing, it's hard because you have to plug your sponsors. Like that's a very big deal.
Right.
But I try to master it to where I talked about my day, I talked about my team and things like that, and I plugged my sponsors where I couldn't make sense. But I always try to be very genuine in
Oh
there.
yeah.
And the way I got better was watching myself. So let me ask you this, because you were a lead in this movie. You're a co-leader, whatever you want to call it, but like you had a
Yeah.
huge part in this movie. So for you, you're out there for 2 hours watching yourself, or an hour, whatever you're
Right. Right.
featured in stuff on there. What would you? Okay, so you say other people said you did a good job. And I thought you did a good job from the clips I've seen. I haven't seen the
Thanks.
whole thing yet, but what would you have done differently?
And I guess that's my problem is I don't know. I feel like so when we're talking, like you said, I watch you watch yourself back on the podcast. There was a time where I wouldn't do that. Like when I
Really?
would go on and I refused. I refused to hear myself on recording. I refused to hear myself, on anything. But then you're right. You have to do that because you have to figure out what you need to do to get better. So
Yeah.
but the thing is, I was talking to Mark and I'm like, and Heather and Terry and all that, and I'm like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I could have done better, but I just feel like I could have done better. And Heather, God bless her, she's like, no, 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 no. She's like, you did great. And then of course everybody is saying like, man, you did fantastic. You did a good job. Your facial expressions, you reacted, you didn't act, you did what you're supposed to do. And I guess I'm looking at it going, that's just me being me normally. So I don't know, you know what I mean? Like the character, I can say this, the character is a heavy smoker. Well, no kidding. Like that wasn't hard to act on. He's kind of scared of everything. Wasn't hard to act on. You know what I mean? Like Hillis yells at me a lot. That wasn't hard to act on when Hillis is yelling at me in the movie.
Mhm.
And then we didn't have any direct. I guess we didn't have any direct dialogue in the movie, me and you, but it was still I was able to watch you do your parts. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I was there watching you do it. So as the movie's getting put together, I'm like, man, this is an amazing storyline. It looks because we gotta remember we shot a lot backwards. We did
Yep.
some scenes
It was
first,
totally bad. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like watching it get put together was I guess where the magic was, when you're like, oh my god, this whole thing, this whole
Yeah.
thing makes sense from action to cut now. You know what I mean? You're like, wow, this is, how many times did you hear back to one? But you heard, you heard all of these crazy things, and then you sit back and you have an hour, and just what you do. You're there. But now you're watching yourself, and you're like, no kidding, like this is real. And to see yourself on a movie screen, I know 1% of the population is going to ever get to experience that. And for me to see that and get to be on that movie screen was absolutely insane. Like, to me, I'm still going, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, which is great. But then again, I was there watching you film your part. I physically watched you do it. And then to see what it turned out to, I'm like, oh my God. It's like we're going to win awards for this. And we're probably not. But it's like you think that in your mind. You're like, wow, this is really good. And then you turn hard on yourself. You know what I mean? You're like, you suck. And it's like, I can't help it. I'm like bipolar.
Right. It's hard for me because I haven't seen it yet. So
Right.
I'm very excited to see it. But like you said in the beginning of the podcast and stuff, like I guess when I was in racing in the thick of it, I didn't care if I heard myself or watched myself during the stuff because I would. But when I was in the middle of racing every weekend, like I did 5 shows a weekend. I was like, I don't need to watch. If I watch it, like I know what I said, like big deal, whatever.
Yeah, right.
But then, so you brought me back when I was on Hillis's show in the backfield when we were doing that.
Yeah.
And I hadn't done a show in 2 years or an interview in like a year and a half. And so I got on that episode and I was super nervous, super jumpy. I had just gotten through like all my anxiety crap and everything. Like I am not the man I was like trained to be on camera.
Right.
I watched it and I'm like, oh boy, like that was bad. And so it actually, what was cool about this show, Life in the Fast Lane show, was it actually, weirdly enough, I always wondered what I looked like in public because sometimes your mind races at a million miles an hour. And luckily, it's a lot better now for me. But stress and things do that to you, right? So you don't act like yourself. You do weird things. You say weird things, whatever.
Sure.
You have weird little tics. And so I used the show as a mechanism to help myself get better.
Sure.
Watching like, okay, did I do this thing? Did I like do something with my mouth? Did I move my head? Did I do whatever that wouldn't be a normal conversational mannerism? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm kind of back to how I was. And now I'm doing other podcasts, like being a guest and like doing radio shows and things like that. Yeah. So I think that's kind of a cool deal to where if you can work on it and you can do it, I think it's a very good thing. But like I said, I haven't been able to see the movie. I'm very excited to see myself do what I do in the movie because it's so weird. Like you said, we filmed backwards. So I came there and I was dead. And I posted, but there was a point to where I wasn't dead when I came back later on. So I'm like, dead alive 3 months apart or whatever it was filming.
That was about 3 months. It was. Yeah, that's weird. When you think about it, that is weird.
Like, why are you going back to film? And I'm like, because they're like, you're dead. You posted the picture. I'm like, well, now I got to go get killed.
That's awesome. But in all honesty, you were talking about like you want to see how it's real. Like I can't explain. I don't want to give anything away because I know Mark and Heather that they will kill me if I do this. But I'm telling you right now, when you see yourself, the first thing you're gonna say is, "Holy crap, that was real." And it was, dude. Like there were certain things, and everybody did a good job in it though. It wasn't just us. Like Hillis did great. There was a lot of people that did really, really good in it, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, that was so real." Like your acting, it's not. And I'm gonna say something. It's not so much like your reaction is what got me. I was like, I should call him, see if he's okay. Like that. Like your reaction was legit, and there was a bunch that did that. There, like Angela. She was great. Her reaction. She cried. And that was one of the things that got me too. I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't have to show like sad, sad emotion.
Do that. That's pretty amazing to show that.
I don't know either.
Some people can do it on command. They're so good at it. And obviously she was able to do it, but like, I don't know how you get to that level. Like that's another place.
That's what it is another place. And that's what she was trying to explain to us. And I'm like, man, I don't even want to touch that. But she cried and it was real. Like she had, tears streaming down her face. And there is a part there where I guess I do have to have some kind of emotion other than, my normal emotion that I'm doing throughout the movie, which is, I'm the stupid person. I'm the comedic relief. I'm the screw up kind of say. So, but when there is emotion that you have to do it, you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. because you don't know if it's. I mean, how do you get raw emotion from not raw emotion? You know what I mean? You gotta, like you said, you gotta go to a place. I don't know how you did it, but you did it, and it was great. It came out fantastic.
No, thank you. It was a lot of previous thought that went into it, and a little bit of help from my people I was working with for the acting classes down here. It's like, how
Yeah.
here's my deal, right? Here's what I got to do. How do I do this? And so they gave me some pretty cool tips of how to do it. And I will tell you that, and I'll be more excited to share this because when it comes out and we can put a clip on the show, in the fall here,
Yeah.
uh, I, it was funny because you think you're filming like you're on the crew, it's having a good time, like whatever, and then serious, and then I'm telling you when the camera comes up to me like this, it's on a sled, right? So when it was there, I was like, okay, we're going to a different place now. And when it was coming to me, like something was coming after me again, I can't say exactly what it was or anything like that.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
when I was in that moment, I put myself to where I've never been chased down by anything in my life, like other than somebody trying to tell me I dropped something at a grocery store.
Well, if
But
that's the emotion you give when you drop something in the grocery store, then I am never going to tell you to pick something up
yeah, I know.
because that was real.
But like my heart rate was about 205 whenever we did that scene because I put myself there, and it was a very interesting psychological mind freak. Like it
Sure.
was as deep as I could go into my mind to portray that. And I hope it came out good. And I'm excited to see it. Even
I
though there's
did.
my small bit of acting in there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to own it for what it is. And I can't wait to see it.
No, no, no. It was great. I mean, it really was. And again, it sucks that we can't like dive into. It's weird to not spoil your own movie you're in, but
Yeah.
to not be able to spoil it, like,
Do it
oh
next
my
year. We'll
gosh.
do a whole review of it. We'll do like a reaction thing.
We should do a reaction thing because I want to see you make the same reactions that you did in that movie because I'm telling you, dude, and you got to give props to where props are given too. Like I told Mark this too. Like Mark made me look good. That's a good producer. That's a good director.
That's a producer and a director's
Yeah.
job, is where they can make you look good. They make everybody look good. When I saw
Absolutely.
like when you're watching it, so I'm watching you guys film and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you're seeing it in first person, and then you go watch like the little cuts that I've seen, and
Yeah.
like even just following Mark, the director or producer, when I'm watching at the scene there,
Right.
I'm what he's looking at through his camera, and then to see some of the clips that we've seen, it's amazing what lighting and post production does because like
Right? Yeah, that is probably one of the coolest things that I got to experience. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously acting in a movie is awesome, but to watch what is true Hollywood magic
yeah,
is insane. Like the stuff they did blows my mind, honestly. I was like, "Oh my god, it's crazy."
no, for sure. All right, well, we got to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to do a little game that Jimmy Fallon's been having on there, which is, I think it's like mistaken lyrics or something like that. So
I like it.
I know I have a funny one racked up in my mind. I always think of a kid. So it's a little bit of Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. So I'll let you know after that, here after the break.
Queen Bohemian. Oh, I like it. All right. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Life in the Fast Lane with Matt Tipton myself. All right, so there's some things going on that I don't know about, so this is going to be fun. You said something about Jimmy Fallon and what is it, misheard lyrics or misinterpreted? Well,
Yeah,
what is it?
misheard lyrics. Yep. So
Misheard lyrics,
Jimmy
okay.
Fallon is one of my favorite late night talk show hosts, and just the crazy stuff he does. So this has been trending on Twitter today, and so he's inviting people um, to give their misheard lyrics. So I want to hear what you guys have too. So meaning that like it's not the actual lyrics, but it's what you heard. And so one of the biggest ones I always thought was Bohemian Rhapsody with Queen, obviously.
Right.
Um, there's the line that goes, "Anywhere the wind blows, nothing really matters to me." I I always thought it was, "Hit me with the window, nothing really matters to me."
Hit me with the window.
Yep.
Oh,
And then
okay, so I get it. I see. It's like it's okay.
yeah.
I mean,
So another classic is "Bad Moon Rising" by CCR,
okay.
Creedence Clearwater Revival. And my dad taught me this one as a joke, but instead of "There's a bad moon on the rise," it's "There's a bathroom on the rise."
There's a bathroom on the rise. All right,
Uh,
so
no,
I
not on the rise, on the right. Like there's a bathroom on the
oh, there's
right.
a bathroom on the right. Oh, I get
Yep.
it. I like it. All right, so
Yep.
this is all right. So I got one. So you know what? I don't know the name of the song though, but it's like something like rolled up like a something in the douche in the middle of the night. But it's not douche. It's it's something else. But for years,
By the light. Nobody knows the
blinded by
lyrics.
the light. That's it. Yes.
Yeah, 30 special, I think. Yeah, no, it's 30 special, I think. Nobody knows what they're actually saying in that. That's not even a
No,
misheard. Nobody knows.
no, I have no idea either. Like I still don't know what the lyrics are to that song. It's like all I know is like it was. I thought for years it was wrapped up like a douche in the middle of the night, and I'm like, that sounds so weird. Why
I
would they
know.
do that? Like, what is that like? And then you start to like second guess the person who wrote the lyrics. They're like, listen, guy, like this is such a horrible song. But I mean, clearly that's not what it is.
I'm gonna read some of my favorite ones from Twitter here.
Yep.
Um, so one of them said, this is actually from Jimmy Fallon. He said, "My friend used to think that the Backstreet Boys were from Rhode Island because the song went back streets back RI, like the letters RI instead of all right."
I didn't. That's right. Yeah. Now that you're saying, did you ever watch Bad Lip Reading? This is
Yeah,
exactly
I
what
love
Bad Lip Reading did to me.
exactly. Yep.
I like it.
Uh, okay. Then this is the Monkeys. I'm a believer, and somebody thought it was. Then I saw her face. Now I'm gonna leave her.
The only thing is, yeah, I could see that, and then I could see that as being part of the lyrics
I like this one. So they said, "I want rock and roll all night and part of every day."
and part of every. Oh, come on, you can't mess with Kiss and Poison. That's awesome, and part of every day. I mean, maybe they don't want to party all day. Maybe they just want to party from 3 to 6. Happy hour.
Uh, here's a bad one. Instead of
Will
Michael
you?
Jackson,
Oh
Michael Jackson,
no.
of course. They said awkwardly as a child, singing with the utmost confidence in front of my parents, Michael Jackson, "Don't stop till you get it up."
No, I don't think that was it. Don't stop till you get it up.
California Girls by Katy Perry. California Girls were undeniable. Fine, fresh fish. We got it on lock.
Those are good. I like it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have heard this one. I'm just going to do a few more, but I have heard this one.
It's you're cracking yourself up. That's how you know it's gonna be good. Whenever your
Probably not.
uncontrollable
It's
laughter.
it's always the worst ones I laugh at, too, is the problem. Okay, so
It's like dad jokes.
yeah. So the man formerly known as Prince, "When Doves Cry." Maybe I'm just like my mother. She never sat inside.
What the hell? What are the actual lyrics? Do you know?
She's never. This is. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. But
Oh, she's never
sat
satisfied.
inside.
The only thing is, I could definitely see "She Never Sat Inside" as getting confused. Dude, some of these lyrics are like real close. It's the bad lip reading. You can't tell what they are. I listen to Eminem, and it happens all the time.
We can't. That's so fast, though. That's not even fair.
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's see. Um, it said I always sing this Rolling Stones song until I learned the name of the song. My version was I never think your I never think your pizza's burning. Turns out the song is Beast of Burden.
Never thought your pizza was burning. The song
I
is
never
called what? Beast of
your
Burden?
pizza's burning.
Oh my god. That's
Yeah, I'm not
funny.
playing for American Idol anytime soon. But this is funny.
No, like I'm not why not? Yeah, I still think you would be good on the Masked Singer.
Hey, here you go. Blinded by the light, dressed up like a douche, another roller in the night.
Yes. That's for years. That's what I thought that was. What are
I
the
look at what the actual lyrics are because that's got to be okay. Let me see what that actually
It's
is.
deuce, I think. And
I'm
not
looking
douche.
up.
I'm pretty sure it's like wrapped up like a deuce. Or maybe not deuce either. Isn't it like like I don't get it. Maybe
Blinded by the light, lyrics.
I like how you sang the title.
Revved up like a deuce. Oh, like a deuce coupe.
I
Another
got
roller
it.
in the night.
Ah, okay. Revved up like a douche. See, I thought it was wrapped up like a douche. I mean, I thought they were being clean.
This guy thought it was dressed up like a douche.
I can see that one too. Dressed up like a douche in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Maybe you look like a
Yeah,
douchebag.
middle of the street. Oh, yeah, screw that guy. I'm gonna write a song about him.
Or maybe maybe they were stalking somebody and it was just in the middle of the night dude looked like a douchebag.
That's what I'm saying. That's very plausible. I mean, I
Right?
misconstrued. Oh.
Misconstrued. I like it.
Sorry, this is my last one because
Yeah.
I like Ghostbusters and I dressed up as a Ghostbuster for Halloween last year.
Did you really? That's awesome.
Um, so they said Dutch Fowl, I don't know, said, I used to think up into my 20s that the song Ghostbusters was, who you gonna call those bastards?
Oh man, those bastards. I mean, I guess they
That's
could
not even
be.
close. Like, that's just bad.
He said it's not even close. That's just somebody who doesn't listen to what's playing in the background.
No, that is somebody who needs to go visit urgent care and have wax removed out of their ears.
Urgent care? Does urgent care do that kind of thing?
Yeah, you can go to CVS Minute Clinic. They do it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well,
Interesting.
no, you-
Well, now you do. Wait, what is it? The more, yeah, the more you know.
Yep.
I like it. So one thing I did want to ask you before we actually end the show. I mean, we still have 15 minutes, so that's good. But yeah, we do. But one of the things I wanted to ask you is, did you watch the new Mortal Kombat yet?
I did. I did see the last Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
What did you think about it?
All right. So we talked about this in one of our previous shows because was it Assassin's Creed? They did a
Video game. Yep.
Yep. So this is controversial because people would think that you could take a video game and because it's so creative, it takes years to make, just like a movie. So you think that you could plug and play a little bit better. And of course, some of the best video games have come from movies made into video games,
Right.
such as Battlefront. So I saw Mortal Kombat, extremely skeptical, and you knew that I was, because I know you went and saw it and you liked it, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. Oh, you froze. What happened?
Okay, so
There you go.
I thought the opening was really cool, right? Between in the 1400s or 1700s, whatever it was, between the Japanese guy, which ended up being the Japanese guy and the Chinese guy, which obviously ended up being the people later on, Sub-Zero and whoever. So I really liked the stuff up front. I liked where it was going, and then I don't know his name, the big tough guy who's real brawny and the comedic. He pulled that movie for at least half the movie because he was struggling a bit.
Oh yeah.
And I thought he pulled the movie. He did a good job. And then so they get into the training, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. And I don't know what happened because they're talking about this and they're going to different worlds and stuff, kind of like the Marvel universe, but like the video game universe they're going off into.
Right.
I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. You kind of got like a Thanos vibe going on. Like, this is kind of neat. And then like the CGI looks good. They have the training to start in that. It looks good. The main guy that I was talking about that was funny, he ends up going to the other, the bad side of it. And like,
Right.
okay, pretty good. Then I don't know what happened, but they lost 30. They only used 30% of their CGI bill from there on out.
30% of their CGI bill. The only thing is, you're right.
Yeah.
you're
It
right.
was it was good. The storyline was getting there too, and the
Yeah,
storyline wasn't bad. Like I didn't mind the storyline. They did a lot with a small storyline plot for a
right.
video game. Give them that. The actors did what they could.
Yeah.
The thing that pissed me off though was they did such a good job with the CGI in the beginning of the movie. When we got to the end, it was like, this is some Green Lantern stuff going on. And you're like, what is this?
Yeah, that's actually a good call. That's yeah. No, see, and again, I never really played the video game, so that was an issue for me. So I guess I went in there thinking it was just a movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people who played the video game who are like, oh, it's garbage, it's garbage. And after realizing that the main character isn't even a character in the video game, you're kind of like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, why would they do that? So then, I mean, I get it. As you're watching it, you're like, oh, if you watch it with a mentality of, I've played the video games, there's a lot of people who follow the Mortal Kombat series. You know what I mean?
Liked it a lot.
Okay.
I thought you liked it a lot. I thought you loved it.
Oh, I did. No, I loved it. That's what I mean. I went in there fresh. I went in there without really
And I
playing
did
the
too.
Mortal
I did
Kombat.
too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did too.
And I think for what it was, because if I think Mortal Kombat, I'm thinking Mortal Kombat. I'm in there. I'm not in there for a storyline. I'm in there to see some gruesome things. I'm in there to see some dude get split up. You know what I mean? Like that's. So I think they delivered on that. I think at least I think they did. And honestly, once I realized that, oh yeah, the main guy isn't even in the story or isn't even in the video game. I guess
Yeah.
that's when I realized, okay, that's where a lot of hate's probably coming from. Because then that's when they try to pull a storyline in. But I never knew the storyline. That's my storyline I knew. So I didn't find it that bad. I found it pretty well. I thought the writing was decent. I thought like you said, I think the CGI was good up until they said, yeah, we're gonna save
Let's
some
start
money.
playing. Let's get into the Mortal Kombat part of this movie, Mortal
Yep,
Kombat. And let's just tank it. Like that's what it went to.
exactly.
Overall, I'd said to you, I think I gave it like a 6.5 out of 10.
That's
And
fair.
this weekend, I went and saw the movie Spiral, which is with Chris Rock. It's part of the Saw books and stuff.
Yes. Okay.
And
How was
I
that?
like I like Chris Rock a lot, but he couldn't save himself from being Chris Rock.
He was.
Uh,
That's was the one thing I was worried about. Now I saw all of the Saws. Actually, you know what? That's not true. I don't want to lie. I saw 1, 2, and 3, and I think I may have saw the fourth one.
yeah.
But then to me, it became benign. It became all right. They're just making these to
And they
make them.
played right, and they played a lot off the Jigsaw Killer and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I get where they're coming from with the books, but
Right.
I think it was directed by Chris Rock, and like he had a lot to do with it. And he did some good
Wow.
parts in it. Like he was like, okay, it was like, all right, that he was funny, Chris Rock. I'm like, all right, that was good. Then he got to
Yeah.
be serious, but it was almost like, you know how Fast and the Furious now is like, you're wanting them to just shut up and go do something.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, but worse.
Really.
And then the problem was the killing of the people in the movie. Obviously, it's a book from Saw, so like it's going to be gruesome. The stuff they did was cool, but it's like they went to Final Destination stuff, and it
Yeah.
wasn't scary. It was Final Destination stuff that was messed up. Like
Yeah.
they couldn't beat 2005 Final Destination in a 2021 movie in creativeness, and then they let it on go too long without having enough like special effects or like storyline or something in there to make it like, whoa, like what's going on. But
Right.
the next day I saw Saturday night, we went and watched The Wrath of Man with Jason Statham, and
Oh.
that was
Okay.
a very good movie, good heist movie, good action, good thriller. Go shoot 'em up, like good story thing. Like highly recommend that one. Not so much the Chris Rock one.
So I don't. Again, I think that would be my only holdup on the Saw is because it is Chris Rock. I mean, Chris Rock could be serious, I guess. I don't think I've really ever seen him in a serious role though. I think
That's
I've
why I was,
only seen.
that's, yeah, that's what I wanted to see the movie. Cause I'm like, can he pull it off? And in parts he did,
Really.
but it just wasn't fantastic.
It wasn't where it should have probably been, right? Like I mean, and there's some like Adam Sandler can pull off a serious role when he has to.
And
Kevin James can pull off a serious
John C.
role.
Reilly, Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, yep. All of them can pull off serious roles when they have to. And I just feel like maybe he was trying to. I mean, you gotta remember, Chris Rock is getting older. You know what I mean? He probably is tired of being pigeonholed into a comedy. Maybe he wants to do something else. And if he directed it, this is probably something that maybe it was just a passion play for him. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's not for money, but maybe he just thought it was a passion play. I don't know.
And I would agree, but he did too much of his stand-up Chris Rock
Oh,
comedy for me to completely believe it is the problem.
oh, so
And
he tried to
maybe
pull
he
both factors.
but all right, here's one thing though. To switch off movies for a little bit, I want to talk to you about Jeopardy,
Yeah,
which I know is a funny, weird topic for us to talk about. But we talked about it before with Aaron Rodgers
yeah.
getting a 12-year, $440 million deal to go host Jeopardy instead of playing football. I'm just kidding. But all right, so Jeopardy is trending. Obviously, got a new host on there every night. So what would be all right, you're in the final like double whatever the heck it is, double Jeopardy round. What is your topic that you are absolutely going to like? There's that one guy that won like millions of dollars on them and got nothing wrong. What's the one subject you are not messing up?
Oh
Like it's your turn. You're like, I got
man,
this.
jeez, come on, Matt. That's tough. Um, I mean, I know oh man, politics. I guess that would probably be my that would be like my only. I mean, politics or Eminem. I mean, if we can go by person, I mean, I know everything about Eminem. The Constitution, I guess, parts of American history. I mean,
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a that's a tough
that's a
question.
tough one.
That's like a horribly tough. What would be yours?
I'm not that great in one subject. Like you're really good at that stuff. So for me, it's going to be like obviously racing is a low hanging fruit.
Right, right.
Um, I'd say maybe like metal bands or hair bands, something like that.
Really?
But if it can be like who would be the lead singer of Cinderella, I can't tell you that.
Right,
Uh,
right.
like who's the guitarist for Doc and I don't know like their songs, but I can't tell the name of them. Like my brother would be great at that. Um, it'd probably have to be racing, maybe Brown's recent history, that kind of stuff.
Really? Browns? As now, see, I would want to say Indians. Like I could say, I would be comfortable talking about Indians, but then you get to a certain era, and I have no. I don't know. I don't know anything.
That's why I said recent history.
Yeah, like, but even my like recent history, I don't know if I'd be, because there was times where I took like a break from it. You know what I mean? Because like the whole Grady Sizemore, I watched it, but I wasn't like I was now. And then of course, I think it was because I was so heartbroken over the World Series losses in the '90s that when the 2000s came, I was pissed. And then I was,
Right.
doing my own thing, playing it. I don't know, man. That's tough. That is a tough ass question.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. That stuff that was interesting to see. I don't know what other people think, but because like some people like I'd like to be on Family Feud. I think that'd be a fun game to be on.
I think Family Feud would be fun.
Yeah, Deal or No Deal, that'd be sweet. But Jeopardy's not like the one show I want to be on. Now, Celebrity Jeopardy, the Saturday Night Live one, absolutely sign me up.
This is Celebrity Jeopardy. I don't think I would want to be on Jeopardy. I don't know if I could do Deal or No Deal just because I second guess myself too much, and I'm definitely second guessing myself when it comes to cases and millions of dollars. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if I could do that. But one of the game shows
I
that
don't know if I want to see you with the stress of like, oh my God, one's $1, one's a million.
yeah, dude, I'd probably just break down and cry, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
It'd be one of those things where my head just explodes and I got nothing after that. But I think one game show I think I would love to be on. And surprisingly, I think I would do good on Wheel of Fortune, and I can't spell, but I think I would do good on Wheel of Fortune. I think because I can see the phrases, you know what I mean. I just don't think I would be able to fully, you know what I mean. Like way better than Jeopardy, way better than probably Let's Make a Deal. I would be horrible on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, absolutely horrible on it.
That is the one show I was gonna say, but that I would like to be on because Jordan and I will watch it and I'll get most of the questions right. I'm like, how do I know this?
Yeah, see, I guess use like for me, trivia is like my secret passion, right? Like I love trivia games. I love them. But the problem is that I have just useless knowledge of trivia games. So as soon as you get up to like as soon as we start getting into real questions, then I start failing. Like we start getting into like especially math. Math or spelling, I'm done. I am absolutely done. But like you like I love Trivial Pursuit. I love it. I love all the trivia games. Like Trivia Crack, I play that. I used to play that. I don't anymore, but I love Trivia Crack. I love a lot of stuff. Like there was a lot of trivia games that I think I would do good on, but then I think the pressure of actually winning something would probably get to me and I'd forget everything I said.
Yeah.
Everything I ever knew.
Yeah, I used to be. I mean, I'm still really, really good at spelling. Like I'm fantastic at spelling normally,
Oh God,
but we
I'm
had a
horrible.
spelling bee in seventh grade. I was out the first round.
Are you serious?
Yes.
See, but that's the pressure, right? It had to have been.
Yeah, it was an easy word too. I don't remember. It was like not that hard, like 6 letters.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'd misspell it too. I'm horrible, like horrible at spelling. But that's the thing. Like, I'm okay until the pressure gets on, right? Like when the pressure of something, like if you're out, like baseball was fine, but the pressure of you're like, "Huh," you know what I mean? You start to get sick. You're like, oh my god, everybody's watching you. But it's only your first game, right? When you're out there in front of everybody. But then like even when I first did my podcast, we were talking about this. Like you said, you went back and you watched it, and you're like, oh, I thought I could do this better. I thought I could do that better. Dude, I hated watching myself on it. I just pretend there was nothing there. Like for the longest time when I was doing these, I thought for forever I was like, I don't, nobody's watching, so it's just a camera and a microphone. At the time, it wasn't even a camera; it was a microphone. And it's like, okay, there's like 2 people listening, we're good to go. And then you start seeing the chat pop up, right? And you're like, oh my god, okay, that's like 5 people, then 12, then
Yeah.
15, then 20, then 30, then 50, then 60, then 80, 90. You're like, oh, okay. And then you're like, got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. And you start talking faster. And you start getting to the point where you're like, oh, my God. So it's the pressure of it that I think gets on you. And I think that's why I would be bad at all game shows. I think even game shows I think I would be good on, I think the pressure would end up killing me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you have to be able to think on your feet at the same time, which is hard. So,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Especially for me. Have you watched me? Have you seen me think on my feet? I can barely chew gum and talk at the same time.
yeah, that's true.
I hate you.
All right. Well, we're about to the end of this thing. So, anyways, go follow Keith at KeithMiger1. Follow myself at Matt_Tift. If you're listening to this later on, when it comes to streaming, make sure you give us a 5-star review and a comment in there as well. Make sure you share it to your friends. And we'll be back here again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for the Life in the Fast Lane show. Also at KM Voice, we're doing some cool stuff up in Cleveland. So make sure you check out the KM Voice account, which has been tweeted a few times throughout this show. Give them a click if you want to do some different media stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on over there, so check them out. And yeah, what else you got, Keith?
Teespring, check out the Teespring, and we're gonna be doing something different in the next couple of weeks. I teased it on our last show, but there's all that stuff was happening. There is we're gonna get rid of our Patreon probably, and we're gonna go to a paid, not really like a pay thing, but like behind the scenes paid subscription type thing, on Anchor, and we'll have more information as that goes out. Because right now it's in like beta testing, so there's a lot of things they're doing. We're just trying to get on the bandwagon early on it, so we can get some testing and stuff going on there, so that way you guys can kind of see what there is and what kind of content. We haven't really decided what kind of content we're gonna have on it or what kind of content they even want on it. So it's kind of their thing. We're just in the it's their court. We're just the ball. So we're gonna kind of see what we can do. But other than that, no, I think that's it. We'll be back tomorrow.
All right. See you guys then.